Hey, this is a video. So for people in Australia, if they're not aware that there are some new rules and regulations coming out for branded text messages, or if you're using a brand company name, I should say, where you're sending it out to show the company name instead of the number, there's some new rules coming out to register your sender ID. Now, these do not apply if you're using myCRMSIM. So there's no change to a platform, no change to the way that our messages get sent out. But this is a new rule that's coming in for Australia. So I thought I'd go through this and explain it. And then I'm also going to tell you and show you a way that you can actually potentially send branded names with myCRMSIM as well if you go through a process which you may not be aware of. So as I just want to make sure that's really clear at the start though, this does not affect myCRMSIM, the new rules and regulations coming in. It's only for people that are using services like Twilio, Lead Connector, or whatever else it might be to send their messages and are using a branded company name to reflect instead of the number. So let's get into it and what it actually means. Now, first thing is that it does only affect people. If you're an agency and you're sending messages on behalf of a company at the moment, you're using Twilio, Lead Connector. If you're just sending it and all you're displaying on the other end, so all the person sees on the other end, the customer, when they get a text message, if they look at their phone and all they see is 04 and they just see a number, this doesn't apply to you. It only applies if when they see a text message, it's got the company name as the identifier. Okay, so that's the brand name. Now, if you don't go through this sender registration process after July 2026, then if you're not registered, then it may get replaced with unverified. So it's going to say unverified instead of the company brand name that you have previously been using. Now, why they're doing this, the registration is designed to reduce brand impersonation on SMS and MMS by linking the branded sender IDs to legitimate organizations and approved messaging pathways. Basically, what that means is they're trying to make people accountable. So they know that if there's a branded number applied to this business, they know who that is. And really, that's around trying to help reduce scammers, because at the moment there could be scammers and they can have branded numbers that are sent and they're trying to impersonate banks. So they might show the ID instead of showing the number. They will show the name as Westpac or Combank or something if they can get away with it, or some other brand to try and instill trust to the people that are receiving those texts. That can cause problems because if people are managing to get that done, then those text messages could get grouped in threads on the phone with actual legitimate text messages, which makes the scam appear even more familiar. And then, as I said, is to make them become more accountable so that they can track who's got these names registered. Now, the enforcement date to get this done and up and running is as of 1st of July 2026. Now, this actually started a while ago. So back in the 15th of October, they started announcing that this was coming out. So telcos and providers started setting this up for compliance. Businesses started registering. So as of 30th of November last year, people started to register. And as of the 1st of July, you've got until then to make sure that you've got any branded registered numbers actually registered. So if you're a business that is using branded SMS and MMS names, then just make sure that you get registered before the 1st of July and avoid having that unverified coming up on your future text messages. So as I've already said, it basically just means if you've got a normal number and you're just sending from a normal number, even if it's on behalf of the company, nothing's going to change there. They'll still see the 04 number. Nothing's going to change at all with myCRMSIM anyway. This doesn't apply to us. We don't have branded registration or branded numbers in the same way as they have through the Twilio or the Lead Connector telcos, okay? So only going to affect people with the brands. Now, for myCRMSIM, we are different to the way that the branded numbers send through at the moment. So if you go through a myCRMSIM path, we will go through high level, or we've got APIs now, so we're going through various things, but we'll go through your CRM, and that will then go into your phone, okay? And then the recipient will see the number, okay? Now that could be an Android phone or an iPhone. It doesn't really actually matter with us, but it'll go through the device, recipient will see the number, okay? That's just a normal SIM card workflow, all right? The branded sender IDs are going to go through a business campaign. The sender ID provider will see that, and then the recipient will see the brand. Okay, so the core of everything on our end doesn't change at all. So there's a few different scenarios. So if SMS is sent from an Android phone and a SIM, you don't need to do registration. If SMS is sent as a client brand instead of a number, you do need to register. If the agency sends for a client from the client's SIM number, you don't need to register. If the agency sends you the client's branded sender ID, then you do need to register, okay? Now, while myCRMSIM, we don't have the branded number option as a thing that you can just put in by default because we're using regular SIM cards and telcos, so that's not a thing that we have as an option basically. But it is something you can do. There's a bit of a workaround. Now, I will say with this as well that in most cases, it's not really necessary and it's not really that relevant. Most cases, when you're sending messages out, you want to send them as a personal message generally, okay? Because you want to have conversations. So you want to have this personal relationship with people through text. So I always say to people that generally you don't really want to have that branded name going across anyway, because you want it to seem like it's coming from a person, that they're sending them a text, that other person's going to reply back to you, or the lead is going to reply back to you. And who has a branded name on their number? Okay, we don't do that. So just having a regular phone number is pretty good anyway. But if you do want to set up a branded sender ID, then there is a couple of ways that you can actually potentially improve your opportunity for that to happen. Now, the way that it's potentially possible for that to happen is that if you use our system, then you can set that up so that it will actually come across and it will say that it may be the company name, okay? With the official ACMA Sender ID, that will just happen anyway because you get it registered and it's fixed, and that's the official pathway to doing that. Now, with myCRMSIM, we've kind of figured out a brand recognition workaround, but this is not an official ACMA Sender ID registration, okay? Now, we've got a full support doc on how to do that. So if you go here to support.myCRMSIM or phone sender ID, or if you just go to support center and search for phone sender ID, we've got a full breakdown on the steps there, but I'm just going to run through these for you quickly. So what you need to do is build trust signals around the SIM number that you're using. So this is a process to try and make Apple and Google devices associate the business name with the phone number that you're sending out. So it's a visibility method and not a formal sender ID registration pathway. So the first step to that is to create branded accounts. So register Apple ID and Google account profiles using the business name and link them to the actual SIM number. Now, fill those all in, use the business logo, email, signature, contact details, all the branding that you've got where it's possible, okay, on any of those profiles that you make. And then you want to build some recognition. So you want to ask 5 to 10 trusted people to save the number under the full business name in their device, in their phone, and then exchange a few messages back and forth with them. Okay, so you want to have a little bit of conversation going on. And then send consistently. So continue sending normal text messages from that device so that other devices may begin suggesting the business name over time. So it can start to come up on other devices, maybe, and it will put the business name. Now, this is not a guaranteed method. It just relies on Apple and Google's methodology of recognizing numbers, but definitely check out the support call here. And really, it's as simple as that to just try and get that happening if you do want to try and get a business name to appear. But as I've said, it's not super important. And I personally think that just having a regular message number and then having messages appear as though they're coming from a normal person builds more confidence and trust anyway. If you're trying to engage people, get them into appointments, book them into meetings, anything like that, follow-ups, regular people and conversation works much better. Okay, so that's the wrap up. At the end of the day, if you are doing that at the moment with business registered IDs, you're going to need to go and get those registered with the services. Okay, there's a whole bunch of links here. Okay, so I'll put those, make sure that all these links are below this video if you want to go and check out any of those for reference and help. There is no infrastructure or no core change to myCRMSIM. That will just work as normal. There's no requirement to get registered for these business name sender IDs. Not going to have to do that. But if you do want to get business name recognition, then go through that article, follow the steps we just told you there, and then that can help have your name start getting suggested. The more people that save it, the more conversations that go on, the more likely it is that you will get business name recognition in your future text messages using your just regular device and a SIM card. Any questions at all? Need anything? Drop them in the comments below. Happy to help you out.